Well, it is Sunday morning, and I got out here nice and bright and early with the hose, and I used the well water. The city water's too expensive. I went ahead and rinsed everything off, and boy, it's nice to see that mud gone. Huh. I still have the area behind me to do a second time, and when I come back out, I'm going to let this dry for a while. When I come back out, I'll hit the shop, get the mud out of there, and we'll just run it right out the door there. So that should take care of that. Really nice to see it gone. I was supposed to work until Wednesday, next Wednesday, the 31st of May, but I'm going to go ahead and work until Friday, which is the 2nd of June. And the reason for that is I have a cracked tooth. It has already been capped and root canaled and all that crap, and it cracked straight across. Don't ask me why. I have no idea. Anyway, it's going to cost a bundle to get that thing. They're going to pull the tooth and put a bridge across it. It's going to cost a bundle for the bridge. So the way our company works, if you retire, if you work even one day into the following month, they pay your insurance premium for dental and vision for the entire month, which is really nice of them. You know, some companies, you retire or quit, boom, that's it. They cut everything off at that moment. But not the company I work for. They're really good folks. So I need to work into June at least one day. So I'm going to go ahead and just, why one day and Thursday? Just wrap up the week Friday. That'll be it. And I'll be covered for insurance the entire month of June. I can go ahead and get the bridge made and that sort of thing. So that's about it. I'm going to go in the house and come back out, and hopefully a lot of this will be dry. I got the doors open. Nice windy day today. All right, let's talk radios. In this bag is something I ordered before I went to Hamvention last week, and it came in while we were gone. It was really a fast shipment. I was surprised. Anyway, let's just get in there and find out what it is. They are little transformers. Little transformers. I paid $9.99 a piece for them. Let's open one up and see what it looks like. Let's see, right, a little closer view here. Well, what we have here is a 70-volt transformer, and it's used in your PA system speakers, you know, in the ceiling, those kind that people announce and things like that. One just like this. And here's the PA. It sits up in the ceiling, you know, like that. But what you don't know is it's, oops, almost dropped my camera here. What you don't know is that speaker is being driven. Actually, it's being fed by this transformer, and 70 volts is needed to push. You know, these speakers are up in the ceiling. They're located all over a building. They're located in the second floor, the third floor, the fourth floor, who knows where, maybe over one floor spread out all over the place, and they need that 70 volts to push the audio signal all the way out to this transformer to where it can go out. It comes in the primary here in one of these wires, this common plus one of these wires, the audio signal is what we're talking about. And then it goes out the secondary, which is 8 ohms, if you'll notice right there. I know the lighting's not very good here, but there's the 8 ohms. Now you'll notice that the primary is rated in 10 watt, 5 watt, 2.5. Let me zoom in, that might help better if I zoom. Yeah, there we go. 1 watt, 0.5 watt, and 0.25 watt. Well, what's this wattage business? Well, don't worry about it, and don't worry about the 70 volts either. For our purposes, we don't care. We don't need to know about the 70 volts other than the fact that it's a 70 volt transformer, because we need the one with all these taps. Now, what are we going to use this transformer for? We're going to use it for these impedance matching, as the impedance matching transformer between the Hallicrafters SX43 that was sent to me by our good subscriber Ron C. As a retirement gift. He's a very, very magnanimous fellow. So what we're going to do is it's going to be an impedance matching transformer. Well, how do you do that? It just says watts on it. Well, we'll have to test. And Brendan happens to know that one of these leads will give me 500 ohms. So I can hook up, you know, like 500 ohms on the back of the SX43. It requires a 500 ohm speaker. Well, all I had was an 8 ohm. And he said, well, that's what, you know, the transformer is impedance matching. Let's make that impedance matching simple. It's a resistance matching transformer, okay? It matches 500 ohms here 8 ohms over here. It sits in the middle between the two, all right? So Brendan said, I'm not really 100% certain which one of these is the 500 ohms. You'll have to give it a test and put your little tester on there. He sent me a little tester a while back. Well, I'll tell you what, the lighting is really bad here today. Sorry about the out of focus bit. Anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and test it using this little test right here. That thing right there. It's kind of neat. You know, right now it's not hooked up to the transformer. It's powered with a 9-volt battery. And this is what it'll look like. You put your 2 leads into 2 small holes to the left. And you stick them down in there. They're just little short leads. They come with the tester. Just put them side by side down in there. Then just lock them down by pushing this right here. Now that locks them down. Alright, I've got them both locked in there, and I have the black lead now connected to the common on this little impedance matching transformer, this little resistance matching transformer. Keep in mind that we do not care about the 70 volts. That's, you know, that's the people that put in the intercom systems, they care about that. We don't care about it all. All we're looking for is a resistance match between this side on one of these leads to common that will give me 8 ohms. This is 8 ohms. We don't have to worry about that. We can stick that over there, not a problem. That's already 8 ohms. Too bad this other side didn't have 2 wires that said 500 ohms, huh? So which one of these wattage, let me zoom in here a little more. Which one of these wattages, these leads, will it be the, what is it? That's the pink, what is it? No, it's brown. Okay, well, it'll be the brown, pink, orange, yellow, purple, or blue. It'll be one of those. So let's start with the brown. Let's hook that up. Let me get hooked up here. Alright, we're hooked up between the common and the brown lead. Now let's press our little button and see what we get for resistance. 41.7. Well, we're not looking for that. We want something a lot higher. Let's go to the, what's next? The red lead. Let's hook up to the red lead. Alright, here we go with the red lead. This is the coolest little tester. It's amazing. I don't know who invented this, but he's pretty sharp. 57.0. Nope, still not high enough. We're climbing. Let's go to the next one, which would be the orange. Alright, there's the orange. Try her again. 82.6. Let's go to the next one. We're still too low. That next one will be the yellow. Alright, yellow. Well, I have no idea what that is. Looks like some kind of MOSFET. I have no idea. Well, obviously that's not going to be what we're looking for either. Let's go to the purple. We'll just do this one while I'm got the camera rolling. You know, I'll be able to hook that right up there like so. There's the purple. I don't know what that is. Not what we need though. Let's go to the purple, see what it has to say. 500.8 ohms. Look at there. That's the one we want. But just to be on the safe side, we better test the last one as well, which is the blue. Right now the purple looks like the ideal candidate for hooking up to the SX43 Hallicrafters. Here we go. Here's the blue one, last one. Too high, 857 ohms. That's it, guys. It is the purple lead that will give us the 500 ohms that we need between the Hallicrafters SX43 output and the 8 ohm speaker, which will be this right here. Now these capacitors I hooked in here, they're not going to be hooked to anything. This resistor and capacitor is going to be hooked to a different radio. I used it for testing purposes. All we're going to do is hook it to this red and this black lead. These two here, we'll go over and hook to those two there. That's it. I hope you learned something. Some of you could write down, you might want to write this down and keep it somewhere on your bench if you ever need one of these transformers. You can refer to that piece of paper with the readings I just gave you and you'll know which one you can use. Well, that's it. Let me see, is there anything else I want to cover on this? I guess not. Remember, the 70 volts is meaningless to us. We don't care. We're interested in the resistance or the impedance matching capability of this thing. All right, now if this would have been, now keep in mind, I don't know if you could use this on a, it says it's an 8 ohm, but I'll bet you could use that with a 6 ohm speaker as well. I'd be willing to bet, or maybe even one a little bit higher. All right, now, oh, one more question. Why did I buy 3? Well, that's another story to be told. You know, some people, when they're born, right from the get-go, they seem to know what they want to do in life. You know, it's like it's in their genes or something. We've got doctors and lawyers and firemen and police officers and stuff like that. They just seem to know from a very early age, and they pursue it until they actually achieve that goal. Now, this is one in our family that is, his name is Austin Alexander, and he lives out in North Carolina. This young man, since he was a little boy, he's our, he would be the son of our niece, the wife's sister's daughter, her son. And this kid has always wanted to be a Marine since the day he was born. I've never seen anything like it. And, you know, there are some people in life like that. Me, not me. I floundered around. I had no idea what I was going to become. Well, this boy right now, he's graduating from high school on the 2nd of June, and he sent us an invitation, and this is the back of the invitation. This is what he looks like today, right there. He's in the class of 2017. His name is Austin Tyler Alexander. Graduates on the 2nd of June, and he has already joined the Marine Corps. He's been apparently joined in his senior year, and has been attending a reserve Marine Corps unit near where he lives. He came out and visited us one time, and that's all he talked about was the Marines. And I bought him the book about Iwo Jima, and showed him a few pictures of the war-torn island when it was done, and he learned of all the deaths and all the carnage and all the terrible things. I wanted him to understand it's not all pretty uniforms, and he did. He read that entire book. Anyway, he sent us an invitation, and he's a good-looking young feller. I think he's an only child, and he is a Marine already. He is so proud. He goes in the Marines on the 26th of this month. He'll be going to the Marine Corps recruit depot. I don't know where he's going to go. I think it's Parris Island or San Diego, or the two places. Since he lives in North Carolina, you would think they send him to Parris Island, but knowing the government, they'll send him all the way to California. All right, it's been a couple hours. You can see drying up real good now, which is good. I even got a chance to wash out the old shop here and get all that mud and crap out of there. And that's going to take even longer, but like I said, we got a nice big breeze here today. It won't take long to finish it up. You know, I'm ready to talk about something else besides this crap. Those of you who keep up with my videos, you'll recall that back in Mishmash number 197, I showcased a Hallicrafters SX43 that was sent to me by our good subscriber, Ron C. He sent it to me as a retirement gift. And, you know, I don't want to rehash that whole story, but, you know, he shouldn't have done it. But he did, and I'm going to make the best of it. I'm going to make him proud. So that's what we're going. You'll notice that after I took the chassis out of the case, it had all kinds of orange drops in there. It had all been recapped. And the only thing missing from that radio was a 6V6 output tube and a 5Y3 rectifier tube. And but these caps were really good. I was happy to see that. Probably gonna, unless we have a problem with it, you know, and then I'm going to have to go through and check everyone, make sure they were put in the right spots. But once again, I want to thank Ron C, and we're going to do something with that today. Well, here she is, SX43 by Hallicrafters, manufactured 1948, 1949. Nostalgia Air has it being prior to 1950. All right, let's take a look at it. Inside, the two tubes I told you about that were missing are these two right here. It's interesting. There's almost something magical about this radio. You know, I needed a 5Y3 rectifier and a 6V6 output tube. And I said, geez, I wonder if I have any of those in my tube stash. So I got the box, I opened it up, and what do you think was sitting on top of all the other tubes, side by side? The 5x3 and the 6V6 sitting right there. I'm like, this can't be happening, you know. Normally I got to dig and go through every box I have, side by side. I just couldn't believe it. So then apparently with all the capacitors who the previous owner had installed, he also put in it looks like a new electrolytic can from Sprague. It's a 60, 20, and a 20 electrolytic, all rated at 450 volts. Anyway, what we're going to do, the tuner's a little stiff. It doesn't want to quite move like it should when it gets to a certain point. So I'm going to take some of this here. I got it outside. We're going to take some of this here QD electronic cleaner. Give it a good spray. Maybe it'll loosen some of that stuff up. Might be some dirt and crud in there. I don't know. We'll just see what we can do with it. And if I can get her loosened up, what we're going to do is we're going to take it back, put it on the bench. We're going to power it up. And let me show you what's on the back first. Well, here's what's on the back. It's a little windy out here today, so I hope the wind doesn't interfere with it. But this is where the speaker connects in. Now, if you'll look down in here, you'll see that there's two speaker resistance values. You got the common here, 500 ohms and 5,000 ohms. Let's see if I can get you down there. We're going to be using the 500 ohms, which this wire is already connected to. Somebody did that in the past, okay? They opened it up. Got a little hinge door on it. That's kind of neat. Let's back her up here a little bit so you can see better. Kind of neat, huh? This hinge is open and shuts. Over here's where our antenna is. Unfortunately, the A1, the antenna 1 knob has been lost. I may take the antenna 2 knob, stick it over there. I don't know where that one is. Right now they have it grounded out to nothing. So this will be my common and this will be my antenna 1. I don't think the A2 was hooked up. The A2 being the second connecting point. Anyway, and then of course right here is you can take this out. It's got some jumper wires on it. You can take that out and hook it up to a battery for battery operation. And somebody wrote down here, refer to Sam's number 45-13 for, you know, schematic and all that other stuff. So I don't know, maybe this thing was built in 1945. Who knows? I'll have to look it up a little more later. And then of course here's a phonograph input. And that's about it. So we're going to go ahead and give it a couple more minutes for that spray stuff to dry out. And I'll see if the tuner, or as Radio Wild says, RW, he calls it the bread slicer. We'll see if that thing's going to work okay. And if it does, we'll get it back on the bench. We'll bring it up on the Variac. I'd love to hear some noise out of this baby. Well, it turns out the old dial string is too loose. And this bread slicer, it won't turn very easily, but that's no problem. As a matter of fact, it hardly turns at all. The string just slips. So what we can do is we'll just have to turn this baby by hand. Not a problem. Now you're going to see where that resistance matching transformer, or impedance matching transformer, however you want to say it, how it comes in handy. We've got our 8 ohm speaker here, red and black, coming out, and I've connected a couple of gator wires to it, same color, red and black. And what I'm going to do is hook the red to the red. I'll tape these off before we start. I just want to show you how to do the hooking. You want to make sure each of these are taped off and insulated from one another. I've already insulated all the ones we're not going to use and coiled them in. So that just left us 2 of them coming out here, and 2 of them of course coming here, and that makes life a whole lot easier. Now we'll hook up the black right there. So I got these 2 connected. Now we need to hook up the 500 ohm output on the back, the one behind that little door I showed you. And I have that thing already taped up. Right now it's underneath my shoe, which is not too smart. Let me get this thing arranged. Alright, now that I finally have my act together, that wire that came out of the back of the radio that was connected to the 500 ohm connectors, I just put a couple of gator wires in. The colors don't matter. We have here the black and we have here the purple, because that gives us our 500 ohms. So we'll go ahead and connect that to that one there, and I will again tape that off later. And the yellow one, will go over here like so. Now, what we have done is we have matched the 500 ohm output on the back of this radio to the 8 ohm speaker. The transformer is the go-between, the impedance matcher. So I'm going to tape these off, and then we're going to fire this baby up on the Variac, and we're going to bring it up slowly and see what kind of current we got as we bring up the voltage, which will be monitored over here. So let me get that part done. Alright, everything has been connected and isolated from one another. I don't want anything touching any metal whatsoever, you know, which includes the speaker basket or each other or anything. Everything is taped away. Everything is pushed away. And of course, you know, this being a radio, it's got a power transformer in it and everything. We can probably just go ahead and trust it anyway, just going ahead and bringing it up here. Wrong! We don't trust any of these radios ever at any time. This is old technology, people. You can be killed with these things. Keep that in mind. You must always think safety, safety, safety. Well, we're getting ready to apply power to this thing. And the first thing in my mind, you know, as it comes up, you know what the first thing in my mind is? I just told you, safety, okay? Safety. Safety first at all times. Alright, let me go ahead and get this wire out of the way. I got this lamp kind of down on the table so we can kind of watch. We can watch the, I don't think that's going to work very well, is it? Let me turn it off, maybe that helps. Yeah, that'll help a little bit better. Okay, we're going to be watching the voltage over here. Some of you folks, everybody who's watched my videos over time have watched me do this a million times. Voltage goes up here, current goes up here. And we are on the 1 amp scale, which is the upper scale right here. Now we don't want that needle to go much past 500 milliamps. If it gets up, of course this is a 10 tube radio I believe, so if it gets up around this area and just kind of hovers in there, maybe between 5 and 6, maybe I'm just doing wishful thinking. Maybe we won't get any current draw. Current draw means the tubes are functional. Alright, first thing we're going to do is bring it up and see which tubes are going to light up. Now I only have 1, 2, 3, 4 glass tubes. The rest, no, 5 glass tubes. There's one hiding down there. The rest are all metal, so hopefully we'll see something here. Let's go ahead and turn on our isolation transformer, which is very important. Always use an isolation transformer whether your radio has a transformer or not. We're going to go ahead and turn on our Variac. We're going to bring up the voltage slow. Let's go ahead and bring it up to, make sure everything's good. There we go. Well, we're getting some current draw. Let me sit down here where I can be a little more stable while I'm doing this. Looks like we're up to about 30 or 40 volts. Let's go up a little bit higher. We're up to about 75 volts. Current draw is pretty good. Pretty good. Let's see if we got any tubes lighting up yet. Probably not. Oh yeah, we do. How about that? 6V6 is lighting up. I don't see the rectifier tube lighting up. That's not a good sign. Let's do a little bit more. We are up to 95 volts. Current draw is about 300 milliamps. Seems to me it should be a little higher than that. Alright, let's see if we're getting any rectifier. Yeah, the rectifier is lighting up. It is lighting up. These tubes over here, that one's lighting up right there. This one's lighting up. So far so good. All the tubes that we can see through the glass are lighting up. We have a dial light right here. I always like that green dial light, you know. Let's see if we're getting any noise. No noise. Do I have the limiter on? That's off. This band selector 1. Let me see if we got anything here. Put that to 0. Sensitivity, we want to max that out. Reception. We want AM, AVC here. CW we don't need. Let's put that at 0. Broadcast sharp. broad. We'll leave that at broad. Okay, noise limiter is off. We are in receive now. The tone, we'll just leave it at high. And let's see what's happening here. We're drawing about 500 milliamps. Let's go up a little higher. Alright, let me see. Come on, baby. Go on down a little bit. Current draw is a little high for my blood, but we're up to 110. Let me see, is that 110? Yeah, 110. So we should be getting some noise by now. I may have to recheck all the connections on the speaker. Let's open her up. Let's do a little tuning around with the tuner. What am I hitting back there? Okay. Let's see if the tuner will give us any noise at all. Crank up the volumes up all the way. We're not getting a thing. That's just wonderful, isn't it? Just wonderful. Sensitivity's all the way up. Sensitivity meter is doing something. Well, I think I know what the problem is. You know what I think I know what the problem is? I think I better hook up my antenna. Boy, I just pulled a buzz. Alright, we have a dial light out, but anyway, the antenna's hooked up and I had to turn up the volume. I am getting some noise, but I wasn't getting any noise initially. These wafer switches are really dirty. I mean, I had to really cycle these babies back and forth to get some contact. I had to do the same thing over here on this band switch. There we go. That's what you can do sometimes when you have like a dead radio, you know, cycle them through. A really good shot, you know, see if you get any noise out of it. Let's see what our current draw is looking like. Not bad. 600 milliamps. It's a little high. And we're not all the way up to the 120 volts either. Let's take it all the way up and see what happens. I'm all for it. Let's go. Let's do it. Let me see. There's 120. 123. It's reading about 700 milliamps. Alright, one more time on this impedance matching transformer. Remember, we needed a 500 ohm speaker. The radio needed a 500 ohm speaker. All we had was an 8 ohm. So we needed something that would match the needs of the receiver to a speaker. So that's where the transformer came in. We found out that the black and purple wire gives us 500 ohms, which is what it needs. And of course the speaker is 8 ohms. That gave us 8 ohms on the other side of the transformer. Worked out great. They're shaking hands. Everybody's happy, okay? Man, I like that. Good stuff there. Good stuff. Can't wait to get working on it, but we have other projects ahead of it. But at least we know we have something to work with. Yeah, until next time, this is John.